beautiful people of the world, let's talk about the BriGAYde issue number 5 from Class Comics. This is written by Patrick Fillion and it's illustrated by David Cantero. The superhero team known as the BriGAYde are going on a somewhat vacation. It's more of a bachelor party for the marrying couple Ghost Boy and Diablo. But this wouldn't be a superhero sexcapade comic book if some shenanigans didn't take place. Major spoilers ahead if you haven't read this issue and you plan on reading it. I'm just warning you now in advance. First of all, Deimos has knocked on the door of Dr. Solando and is needing his help. Yes, the tarot demon himself. I'm actually really excited to see him as a part of the team. Up to this point, he's been a bit more of a solo character where he's done individual team-ups here and there, but being a part of an actual team working with other superheroes is something that I've been looking forward to. A good portion of this issue is most of the team just relaxing and having their own special brand of Class Comics fun, and you know what I'm talking about. But unfortunately for the team, the villain, kind of sort of villain, Toro, who happens to also be the uncle to Ghost Boy, has made his return. He's been in a bit of a coma ever since the Ghost Boy and Diablo comic series. And he immediately puts a smackdown on each of the individual members of the team, taking them out one by one. This leaves off on a huge cliffhanger where Toro seemingly is successful. However, like I said, Deimos is now part of the team, so I'm sure he's going to play some factor in some of the future issues to saving them. However, there's still the whole lingering background story taking place as well. The character known as Reverend Freely, who's been shown in previous issues, has the ability to brainwash characters who were gay into thinking that they're straight. BriGAYde member Devon Da Silva, also known as Legend, has been captured and has been a victim of the brainwashing. Another little subplot going on in the background is that sometimes criminal John Daisy has been captured and is put into the Fraser View Hospital. And he's being sexually tortured, but for what purposes, we're not really quite sure. His love interest, sometimes kind of sort of lover, Devil Hound, is on the hunt to try to save him. So there are a couple different subplots going on in this title currently. This is a gay comic book series, and there is still a lot of sex taking place, being that it is part of the Class Comics universe, but I feel as though it's almost an equal amount of story element with the sexual points put in as well. Not to mention that one of the villains has a very dangerous ability where he thinks he has the powers to turn a gay person straight. Personally, I think this alludes to real-life torture camps where conversion therapy is still used in certain states in the US. Not to mention around the world as well too. Putting all that to the side, this is an incredibly well-written comic book series, and I am loving every bit of it. As always, I'm a huge fan of David Cantero's artwork, and I think he illustrated this perfectly. At the end of the story, there's a one-page comic strip explaining what happened to Toro and how he came out of his coma at the end of the Ghost Boy and Diablo comic series. So I think it's nice that Patrick Fillion included that in this so we know exactly what happened. There's also some pinup art at the end of this story spotlighting some of the different characters on the team as well. Patrick Fillion drew a few of these himself, and holy hell, these are pretty darn hot. The comic itself is also reprinted one more time without any of the word bubbles or any of the thought bubbles so that you can appreciate the art that David Cantero put into this. Some people just want to see the artwork itself without having any of the word bubbles put in there so that they can just appreciate the artist and all the work they put into it. But I'll end this comic book review at this point. If you're interested in reading this comic book and downloading the PDF form of it, you want to go to classcomics.com and you can download it directly from them. With that, thank you guys for watching me in this video. If you haven't done yet, check out my Patreon site, check out my social media sites, my websites, and everything else out there. Peace, love, namaste, and I'll see you guys later. Being that this video is being hosted through YouTube, I can't show Deimos' new superhero costume that made his debut in this issue, but I will say that I absolutely love it, and it totally screams out Naked Justice team up in the future.